Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers, as well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here, and y'all are there.
Chris Chan.
We're so back. We're so back.
Arguably the most documented person in history. His antics have been witnessed by millions, with many always keeping a close eye on him, waiting to see what he does next.
We made it to the
All you do
Liquid
is make
Chris
me feel
arc.
sad, depressed.
We're so back, Depri.
He should love his mother. She misses him.
We're starting with episode 1.
Hello, we're live on the internet. What do you want? Mom, hello. I love the women outside.
Oh no. Oh no, chat. Oh
It's not
no.
so good.
No spoilers, chat. No spoilers. If you've read the manga,
Everything about my house off the internet. Don't call anybody. What? I'm Master Shake. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, whatever.
Depri, didn't you watch these with us years ago or no? Maybe
What
you weren't
made him
there.
this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan.
Episode 1, dude. Phantom Blood. You guys have Andrew to thank. Andrew's the one that got me on this. I didn't even know who the fuck Chris Chan was. And then when we were coming back from Buffalo Wild Wings, he's like, I've been watching this crazy documentary about this Sonic guy. I was like, what? And he told me about it. So it's actually, like I said, Depri, when we used, 5 years ago, we watched this on stream together. We watched up to episode 9, or 10. We watched episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all on YouTube. And now, there's 85. So that means there's, 75 episodes we've never seen. There's 75 episodes we've never seen. It ended off on the Liquid Chris arc, so we'll see. We gotta start from the beginning, though, the origin. I'm obviously gonna be pausing at different times to do commentary so that I can be under fair use and not just rip off Geno Samuel's content. So did Pop. Pop lived
Christopher
like...
Weston Chandler was born on February 24th, 1982, in Charlottesville, Virginia, to parents Bob, aged 54, and Barbara, 40. Bob had worked
Damn, bro, his parents were old. Damn, fucking Bob Chan be getting it in. This motherfucker having a newborn at 54. That's crazy. 54 years old having your first son. No, I don't think it's his first son, but yeah, whatever. Damn, okay.
in the
Hey,
engineering
Bob, I see you,
field
brother.
for Western Electric and later General Electric. The family held Bob's life accomplishments very proudly, as he had at least 7 patents to his name, including mechanisms used in the production of Kleenex and molding of plastic water containers.
I'm so glad we're rewatching
Bob
this. I don't
was
remember
very
any of this.
world-conscious and was an avid collector of stamps since a very young age. Later in life, he developed a love for music, especially foreign music. He eventually amassed a collection of over 10,000 vinyl records.
Wow!
He had a son and daughter from a previous marriage.
Damn! Okay, so he had a son and daughter from a previous marriage. Like I said, I'm glad we're rewatching this because I forgot all of this. But damn, all of those vinyl records? Can we all admit that Bob is the GOAT, though? They said 7! Epic Man, he had 7 patents to his name. Yeah, he had like, and he said including 2 that had to do with like, I don't know, engineering or some shit. Bob is the GOAT. I feel he's like the well, Barbara's also a victim, but that's in the Shippuden arc. We'll get there.
The relationships with whom were strained, to say the least.
Everybody's a victim that's
Barbara
been
was the
involved.
secretary with Virginia Power. She had a habit of hoarding her belongings and was an emotionally abusive person, which convinced her then 17-year-old son, Cole Smithy, to seek independence and live life on his own.
Oh no.
So when Chris came along, Bob and Barb got a chance to start anew. The new family started their new life in their humble Ruckersville home. Chris later claimed that at around 2 months of age, he uttered his first word, monkey. It didn't take long for the parents to see that Chris wasn't quite...
What a crazy first word. What if his first word would have been Sonichu? Snorlax with her little munchlax. You guys are fucking pieces of shit. I'm so glad we're rewatching this. All of these will be on YouTube now, archived forever. So these will all be on YouTube, archived forever, unless Geno Samuel copyright blasts me. But yeah, damn. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Like most other babies, the first signs of his autism could be witnessed in 1983. Despite his condition being congenital, he had stated that his autism was brought about by one particularly traumatic event when he was 18 months old. A babysitter named Roach, or Roach, would look after baby Christopher whenever his parents would go out in the evenings. One of these nights, Chris inadvertently infuriated her, and she locked him in a room filled with toys, in the dark, alone. This would prove so traumatic that he refused to speak for the next 6 years.
What?
Even though he sees this event as the source.
Dude, I don't remember any of that. Oh my gosh, bro. He's got like a villain origin story. They gotta make an anime about this. They need to make an anime about this, and that would be like the opening scene, and I'd be hooked. So his babysitter locks him in a room, and he's so traumatized he doesn't say a single word for 6 years? Dude, that's fucking dedication to the bit. Doesn't say a single word for 6 years.
Of all his troubles, he does not blame his parents for keeping Roach as his babysitter, for they did not know better. Despite living out his childhood as
Geno Samuel. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Geno Samuel is so like he's so shady because he will do like those direct quotes, and it's like the most passive aggressive shit. Anytime like he like quotes Christian, he will keep the grammatical errors in there. And it's just the funniest deadpan delivery.
Roach as his babysitter, for they did not know better.
This
Despite
guy's
living out
comedian.
his childhood as a mute, Chris was anything but quiet. He confessed later on in life that he screeched often and was very troublesome to his parents. In 1985, the Hammer household moved into the neighborhood. The Hammers and the Chandlers struck up a cordial relationship, which led to Chris forming a bond with the Hammer's daughter, Sarah.
Oh no.
Looking back, Chris considered her to be his closest childhood friend, and that she greatly helped him with his autism. However, from what is known of their relationship, it is also likely that she took advantage of Chris's innocence and trust, and may be seen more as a bully than a friend. For example, she once told him that Casper the Friendly Ghost was hiding under her house. Naturally, Chris crawled into the Hammer's crawl space to find him, only to find spiderwebs, bugs, and dirt instead. Sarah locked him in. After about
That's
half an hour,
fucked up.
her dad came to his rescue. On another occasion,
Sarah Hammer
she
is
told
villain.
Chris that if he were to eat the upper thing of a honeysuckle, it would taste like honey. This is a reference to the berries of a honeysuckle, which can be slightly harmful if ingested in large doses. Fortunately, their parents told them of the dangers of doing so before Christopher could fulfill Sarah's wish.
Sarah
At
Hammer's
the
a
age
bitch,
of 5,
dude.
Chris began studying at Greene County Primary School together with Sarah. It is not known how he was treated here or how he got along with the other kids. In addition to taking regular classes at the primary school, he received language training at James Madison University. In 1987, in a lengthy letter addressed to Chris, dated December 26th, Bob offered his outlook on life and presented some life advice for his
Dude,
son.
wait, I gotta go
There-
back. I literally have that exact Yoshi plushie.
1987.
I actually
in a
might have it in my
lengthy letter
closet right
addressed
now.
to
Give me
Chris,
1 second.
Dated December 26th, Bob offered his out.
Hold on, I might have this exact Yoshi plushie. Give me a second. Retro, I can't. This is the documentary of Christian Weston Chandler, buddy. Ugh. Okay, well, the sad news is if I do have that, it's not in my closet. It would be in my basement, which I'm not going to dig out right now. but I am almost positive that I have that. Yeah. I'm almost positive I have that. That's the Yoshi's Story one from the Nintendo 64. I'll check later, and then I'll post it in Discord, okay? After stream tonight, after dinner, I'll go in my basement and look for it, and I'll post it. It's this exact one, because Yoshi looks weird. He looks really weird. He's got orange boots instead of red. I was just reading about the latest Geno drama from April about Sonichu, the anime series. Listen, Daly, spoilers. We got to keep going. We're on episode 1, bro.
Outlook on life.
This is
and
like One
presented
Piece,
some
except
life
better,
advice
and not
for
shit.
his son. There are many sides to a mountain and many ways to climb it. If you get stopped, back off, regroup, and try another way. If you are still not successful, maybe it is not meant to be. If it is meant to be, having it on the back burner simmering for a while is not bad. It will pop up again, and the way to attain it will be there. Everything in its time. Your mother and I have done our best for you, and in return, we expect at least that from you, for yourself and your children. He also expressed wish.
Oh, man. I feel... Bob is the GOAT, bro. He may not have been a perfect person, but he's got some words of wisdom, dude. He's got some skills.
Just for his son to inherit and hold dearly his vast collection of music, movies, stamps, and art prints. He reminisced about the straight razor which he inherited from his grandfather, which he carelessly broke while using it as a screwdriver. Bob still held on to that broken razor his entire life because his grandfather wanted him to have it.
That's so
Bob
sad.
hoped that Chris would share his father's sentiment. I hope that you will not carelessly misuse, waste, or destroy the value of the many things I have collected for you. First, learn.
This fucking letter that he wrote to his son is like the biggest foreshadowing. Like fiction cannot even make up how much foreshadowing this is. The fact that he, like, the first thing that he gave Chris was this razor that his grandfather wanted him to have, and then Chris literally, like, recklessly broke it, and it was shattered, and it's just like, dude, that should have been a dark omen, dude. This whole letter is like, this is darker than Mary's letter to James in Silent Hill 2. It literally is.
All about them, how to use them and enjoy them, their value, and how you can thoughtlessly waste their value. Then enjoy them as I have. For example, my very good stamp collection.
Sorry, I'm so sorry that I keep pausing it. But I just thought of the line. It's just like, I can still see that town, Quickville. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did.
Or all the recorded popular music on cassette tape, VCR tapes, and records. My books on popular music, movies, entertainers, musical theater, ship models, my daylilies, gazebo, and dreams. This letter offers an insight into Bob's character, as he feared that all he had accomplished over the course of his life may be lost.
Oh no!
In 1989, during a weekly trip to the toy store with his mother, Chris picked up a GoBot up on display and slowly started to read out the text on the package, ending his 6 years of silence. Later that same year, Bob and Chris converted the shed in their backyard into a workshop, christening it the Dreaming Studio. Bob had hoped that he and his son would build things together there. He even commemorated the space with a plaque, Dreaming Studio of Mr. C and Little C, where dreams do come true.
Oh man,
However,
dude,
when
this
asked
is
about
so
it-
bad. I'm so sorry. This is so rough because like, just that, like, everything is so cursed about this. It was all a dream. I used to read Sonichu magazine. No, but just the fact that, like, he didn't talk for 6 years, and then he touched a GoBot, and it's like when Light touches the Death Note, and he gets, like, all of his memories back. Chris Chan doesn't talk for 6 years, and he touches the GoBot, and he breaks his 6 years of silence. And, like, his parents think that that's like, oh my gosh, it's such a good thing. When it was like the awakening of the demon, dude. It was like, this is the day the demon awoken. And then they made the Dreaming Studio.
Chris could not recall what, if anything, had been built there. It was instead mostly used by Barbara for storage. For Christmas of that
Where
year,
dreams go
he
to
got
die.
a Nintendo Game Boy. This was also the year that the family got Patty Chandler, a Beagle Spitz mix, which they picked
Patty.
up as a pup from their Aunt Karina. Chris grew very attached to the dog, displaying a fondness and arguably a love rarely shown for anything or anyone else in his life.
Patty.
In 1990, Bob co-hosted a jazz marathon on WTJU radio. During the program, he displayed his keen knowledge on 20s and 30s jazz music.
Okay, now we go on to performance number 2, which is Tight Like That.
Isn't that crazy how Bob sounds just like Chris Chan except without like the mental disorder? But their voices sound very similar. What's going on, Harper? You should go back and watch the VOD for Music Battle. Chat, wasn't Music Battle the hypest shit ever? But anyways, we're watching the Chris Chan origin right now. Their voices sound so similar.
This is November the 9th, 1928, with Chicago personnel, the Tampa Red's Hokum Jug Band. There's a great group of Chicago musicians featuring kazoo, guitar, and jug by Hudson Whitaker. Tampa Red's guitar, Thomas A. Dorsey is on the piano and the washboard. Frankie Half-Pint Jackson.
Nobody spoil
vocals
who won
interact to
for
make
Harper.
this a
Nobody
great
spoil.
session. Listen for some very good kazoo and jugs, and notice how Half-Pint Jackson laughs like scat singing. Very unusual.
Scatman John.
1990 also marked the last year of Chris's tenure at Greene County Primary School. For his 4th grade studies, he transferred to Nathaniel Greene Elementary School. It was here where he allegedly had very distressing experiences. He asserts that the staff at the school didn't know how to handle autistic children and treated him cruelly. Chris contends that 5 members of staff abused him by pinning him down to the ground, holding his wrists and ankles, and audiotaping his cries.
Oh my gosh.
Furthermore, he claimed that the principal forced him to sit on his lap and said offensive things to him. But little Christopher resisted, and the advances never went further than that. The principal is also claimed to be gay, which Chris feels justifies his homophobia. I was abused by one, a homosexual principal at my elementary school.
I'm not. All I'm gonna say is the irony of that statement. But he slapped me on his lap.
Slapped me on his lap, said some offensive things to
That's
me,
enough.
and I felt uncomfortable. Even though Chris's accounts of the events could not be verified, it is also not unlikely that an event like this could have taken place. Though Chris never specified the reasoning behind their attacks, nor did he state whether him being restrained and being assaulted by the principal were separate or related events, it is possible that he may have been restrained and verbally abused as a form of disciplinary action, and even placed in a scream room, which was a fairly common school installation for dealing with autistic children up until the mid-1990s. Whatever events transpired, it forced Chris's parents to take him away from Nathaniel Greene Elementary School. To further things, they took the case to Greene County Court. After the school board threatened to take Chris out of mainstream education and instate him into a special needs school, the Chandlers dropped the case. For the remainder of the school
Dang,
year,
he was wearing that
he was
shirt when he was
homeschooled.
that young. That's the iconic, like, striped shirt. I think the colors are a little bit different, but he had another one when he was, like, a grown-ass adult. But he was wearing that shit from a young age. That's, like, his iconic, he's always had, like, an iconic look.
It was around this tumultuous time that young Christopher had an uplifting experience that would change his life.
Oh, no.
During a shopping trip in Richmond, possibly in December 1992,
Dude,
but
this is so crazy. It's like it was on that day everything changed. It's like this poor like kid, and he didn't talk for 6 years, and he gets kicked out of school, and he gets bullied by what is her name, Sarah Hammer, whatever that bitch, that horrible bitch that like bullied him and locked him in the crawl space. All these horrible people, and then on this fateful day, here comes Sonic. It's like, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. On this day, everything changed. What's up, taters? You missed Music Battle, but you should definitely watch the VOD. It was one of the best streams ever. Now we're watching the origin of Chris Chan.
in other accounts, he stated that it was 1989 he came across the Leonard Bernstein Symphony Orchestra,
This
a
is
show
episode
comprised
1.
of animatronic characters
is episode
that
1.
is held around Christmas time at the Regency Square shopping mall. The conductor, Leonard Bearstein, is made to be fully interactive with his audience with the help of a human controller behind the scenes. On this blessed day, the turnout for the show was weak, so Chris got extra attention from the bear. When Leonard asked him his name, the person controlling the animatronic misheard it and answered back, calling him Christian. The boy took this as a profound
Wow.
sign and felt that he should be called Christian.
I forgot about this. So, no, Reckle, when I watched this 5 years ago, we left off on episode 10. Right now, Geno Samuel is up to episode 85, which is pretty much caught up to 2025 in real life. He's pretty much caught up to real life times now. There's 85 episodes of this shit. But anyways, I intend to watch them all with you guys. This will be up on YouTube. But anyways, hold on, really quick. Hold on, back up. You guys are asking me too many questions. Let me do one question at a time here. One question at a time. So, anyways, think about how cursed this is. How he got his name, because his name was Chris, but he misunderstood. An animatronic bear misunderstood what he said, and he called him Christian. And from that day forward, it like changed his name. Literally, an animatronic bear at the mall like fucked up, and it like he got his iconic name. Do you guys realize how big of a deal that is? Had that bear not misheard, his name wouldn't be Christian. But he loved it so much, he's like, "Mom, the bear changed my name." That's actually insane. If he would have been born in like 2018, he would have had Freddy Fazbear be his idol, but instead it was Big Baba Booba or whatever the hell this guy's name was. But anyways, Taters, how was last night during the hangout? Fuck you, I hate you. Not really, I'm just kidding. But shit, what's her name? Don't tell me. Give me a second. I just looked it up. Give me a second. Fuck. Sorry, this is a little bit of a fucking side tangent. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I knew it earlier, but today's been a long day. Give me just 1 second, chat. There we go. I remember now. Yeah, fuck you, because thanks to you, now I have a crush on Sonata Dusk. Obviously the human version. You have something to send me on my Zach Lloyd account? Please do. Now, thanks to you, I've got a crush on Sonata Dusk, and I saw this fucking cute picture of her that I gotta post in Discord now. So, I literally woke up, I was like, damn it. But I had a lot of fun, thank you. But let's continue.
In order
What is this? What, this turned into the Milky Finisher Q&A? No, I appreciate it. Honestly, I love when you guys are active. So I love when you guys ask me questions. I just like when you guys watch my streams. It means the world to me. But, it's funny how when I actually do a Q&A, nobody wants to ask me shit. And then when I'm watching Chris Chan Origins, you guys are like, ask me, how many hairs are on your head? What's your favorite Kool-Aid flavor? But anyways, Retro says, has my family ever questioned the wall decor in the back? Yeah. I've told this story before. I'll tell the short version. So when I first hung it up, because I got it custom framed, it was a fucking lot of money. So some Chinese sweatshop worker had to fucking frame Naked Milky Chan in the picture, and I got it custom framed because it wasn't like a normal frame size. And anyways, so I put it on my wall, and then my mom was like, she's like, "What the hell is that?" And then she like realized that it was Milky Chan. And then I was like, "Oh yeah, Shin Puff drew that." And she's like, "Oh, Shin Puff drew that. It looks so good." So after she found out it was drawn by Shin Puff, she liked it. So there we go.
for Chris to continue with formal education,
I'll post the
Bob
picture
and
in
Chris
Discord in a little
moved
bit,
to
Taylor.
Chesterfield County, while Barbara remained in the family house in Ruckersville with Patty, so she could keep working. Christian enrolled in Providence Middle School in Richmond. He looked back fondly over his time here, giving special credit to his teacher Virginia Sanford. She was the most influential teacher in my life. During my years at Providence Middle School, she taught me better social skills, how to better cope with other people, bullies, and life. With a positive and fun tomboyish attitude, she was a teacher any child would be most proud to look up to and be taught by.
What a glowing review.
He also
what a nice
forged a
lady.
friendship with Natasha Turner, a girl a few years older than him.
Uh-oh.
He lost romantic interest in her when he saw her smoking. They would often hang out together at the bus stop.
Dude, I love it. Imagine giving Chris Chan the ick. You must be cooked. If you're a girl and Chris Chan's like, I lost interest, you should probably just give up. Because even Chris Chan has standards, bro. He's like, bro, you see you're a smoker? I'm out. No, I know, Taters. It probably didn't work out too well. Dude, he really loved those striped shirts, man.
He would sometimes give her money on behalf of his father for her friendship and attention.
That's really
Chris
fucking
would
sad.
later realize that Natasha was, in a sense, a friend with benefits. She would stay with him and be friendly in exchange for a monetary reward from Bob. Bob knew that his son had little hope in forming true friendships otherwise.
The Adventures of Sonic the
Oh
Hedgehog,
no,
only
bro.
TV show
The
is on
moment he
air.
met
In the
Sonic.
fall of '93, Sega, the video game developer, held a watch and win sweepstakes contest in conjunction with their Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. The lucky winner would get a $1,000 shopping spree at KB Toys. And that winner was Chris.
Christian is one of only about 100 winners nationally to receive one.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like, this guy's like, it's literally a canon event. He, like, so many things could have happened that would have changed his life. Dude, I'm telling you, this is episode 1. This is episode 1. I'm telling you, this is the greatest documentary series of all time, and we're gonna be watching it all. Not tonight, obviously, but like, this is literally a Danganronpa character. He's like Nagito. He's the ultimate lucky student. So many things had to happen. It's like, he got special attention from the bear that called him Christian, so he changed his name to Christian, which went to Chris Chan. And then, out of, like, 1 in, like, a million chance, he won a $1,000 Sonic the Hedgehog Sega toy giveaway. How did he win that shit, dude? He literally had, like, crazy luck. And then he was on the news as a kid. He was destined, dude. If you guys don't believe that fate is real, yeah, there's so much more, Taters. There's like entire seasons and arcs and villains and characters.
Thousands
This is
of
episode
dollars
1.
worth of Sega games and equipment. For his parents, it's just another example of how well he's doing. Christian is a high-functioning autistic child. This past fall, on his own initiative, he entered a contest based on a favorite cartoon character.
I had to do was exactly watch Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, and I'd listen to what Sonic says at the end of it, and write it down for a whole week.
Gino Samuel's such an asshole. He put "risen." He fucking, in the subtitles, instead of "listen," he put "risen" because that's what it sounded like. He's so shady, bro.
And then I had to mail it in, and I had to be drawn out of a hat, and I just won.
And Christian's father says it only takes a few hours for him to master an electronic game and then move on to another. I can't master any of them. That's it for now, and it's...
This is the first of many competitions that he entered during his life and has cemented itself as a likely key reinforcer to his future sense of entitlement.
The foreshadowing is
On
great.
December 29th, 1993, the Richmond Times-Dispatch published an article about Christian's magical encounter with Leonard Bernstein entitled, "It Took a Talking Bear to Give the Name a Young Boy Loves." The boy's father recounts the events of the day. Since this was early in the Christmas season, on a Thursday afternoon, the crowd was light. The conversation between Leonard and Christopher lasted about an hour. Christopher was
Taters, there are millions and millions of people that are autistic. That's why people are like, you can't blame Chris Chan, he's got autism. I'm like, bro, listen, do I think mental health is very serious, and does it play a part in how, like, people should get special treatment? Absolutely, absolutely. People have different learning needs and stuff like that. But here's the difference. You can just be a shitty person, you know? Like, there can be 2 autistic people that have the same upbringing, same life. One of them might just be an asshole with autism, and one can be a genuinely good person. Obviously, like, there's, you know, like I said, I sympathize and I respect people that have, like, different, you know, mental problems. But I don't think any mental illness is an excuse to just be a genuine shithead. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
spellbound.
like I said, really quick, when I was in school, There was, in 3rd grade, I was in class with an autistic kid, and then in 5th grade, I was in class with a autistic kid. And they were both, like, really bad, and one of them was, like, really low functioning, like, he would screech and all that stuff. But he was really, like, he was just a nice guy. He just liked to play with toys, and he didn't communicate with the other kids well, but he was very, like, well behaved. And then the one in 5th grade, he was a fucking menace, dude. He would punch the teachers in the face. He would crush his juice box on the fucking table on the books. He would spit on the beanbag chair. Like, he was a fucking menace, dude. What I'm saying is, I think that if you took those two people and removed their autism, one would still be a piece of shit and one would still be like a good person. I think that personality traits and how people handle their emotions are independent, but they can be amplified by their mental illness. You know what I mean?
Something unusual happened during
Damn it.
that conversation. When Leonard Bearstein, in a decidedly British accent, asked Christopher his name, the bear must have misunderstood what the boy replied. Leonard started calling our son Christian. What better name for the Christmas season? And the name stuck like glue. From that time on, for the past year, his name has been Christian Weston Chandler. Christian is very emphatic about that. Bob also offered up some insight.
So yeah, that's the craziest origin story, because his name is Christopher, but because an animatronic bear misunderstood and he's like, Christian, yeah. Then Christian was like, I love that bear so much, everybody needs to just now call me Christian, which became Chris Chan. I think, Harper, a lot of this has to do with the times, you know, the 80s and early 90s. A lot of people didn't have special treatment, well, at least in the US anyways, for like mental disabilities. It's a lot better now. But I got to see, like, the transitionary period. Like, when I was in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, it was still kind of bad where they were lumped in with the normal class, but they would have, like, a special teacher sitting by them. And then nowadays, there's way more programs and way more, like, special needs, stuff like that. It's just a sign of the times, and things weren't adapted the way that they are now. So. Well, again, though, Reckle, it was a different time. There was just a stigma about, like, you know, autism and like Down syndrome and shit like that back then that isn't as strong now. Thank God, you know, luckily.
Insight into the family's situation. Christopher is a high-functioning autistic child. While intellectually, his age level is 12 or 13, socially, he is around age 7 or 8. He has some behavior problems with his peers and relates better with children a few years younger than him. The Greene County school system was not equipped to teach an autistic child, Mr. Chandler said. The Chesterfield County school system has accepted him with open arms. The article also mentions that Bob had originally wanted to name his son Christian, but had chickened out. It is unclear what scared him off from naming his child Christian. In any case, the following year, the boy had his name legally changed to Christian Weston Chandler.
Crazy, dude. So that's the origin. That's crazy. You can't even make up a story like that. His dad wanted to call him Christian, then he settled for Christopher, and all because of an electronic bear. It changed, it reset the timeline back, like fucking the origins.
In the spring of '96, Barbara retired from her secretarial position at Virginia Power and moved in with Bob and Chris,
Patty.
reuniting the boy with Patty the dog.
I love Patty.
In late spring, Chris graduated from Providence Middle School. As a parting gift, Mrs. Sanford wrote a personal, touching, and prophetic letter to Chris. Well, it's been 3 years now at Providence, and it's all over. Where has the time gone to? The most important parting words I can leave you with, well, are to always remember this. You show people where your weak points are located. Then they will know how to push your button. If you never show them, they will never know. I hope you will have an enjoyable summer and come back to visit. Do your very best at Manchester, put your best foot forward, and treat others as you wish to be treated. Love, Mrs. Sanford.
W teacher.
The
W
Manchester in
teacher.
question happened to be Manchester High School, where, according to Christian, he spent the happiest years of his life.
Wow.
Over the course of 4 semesters, he studied Spanish, of which he has a very loose grasp. For class assignments, he adopted a Spanish name, Ricardo, a common practice for students in order to better get into character and the culture of the language.
Ricardo Chandler.
However, Christian got too into character and often used Ricardo in class assignments outside of Spanish, and even considers it as part of his real name. When riding on the school bus, he used to sit right in front of the bus door, so he could always get off the fastest. However, during his freshman year, he got into an altercation with another boy who wanted to be off the bus first. He punched Christian in the face, knocking his glasses off. In order to resolve the issue, Chris was forced to take the special ed bus to school from then on, which deeply affected him. He always felt very uncomfortable associating.
Tater, spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. Yeah, that's the no spoilers. That's the manga stuff. But gosh, like all of the things that like led, it's just crazy. It's just a crazy documentary series so far, because just like he was on the normal bus and he was fine and everything was good. But then just because it's kind of like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he's like, I got one little fight and my mom got scared. Said, you move in with your auntie and uncle in Bel-Air. He was on the bus, he gets in one fight, and then they put him on the short bus. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, this guy can't catch a fucking break. He gets in one fist fight, and now they send him to the short bus.
With others whom he called slow in the minds. I ended up with this really...
Andrew used to say that. Andrew took that from this documentary. Also, holy shit, Spider-Man is there. Spider-Man and Sonic. Holy shit, Peter Parker. The irony of Chris Chan being like, I fucking hate these slow in the minds. I knew you guys were going to be inappropriate about it. Oh, man. Here we go.
Really worse off mentally challenged person who could hardly ever speak other than, That boy bopped me on the back of the head for his own laughs. The special ed teacher who rode on the bus talked with his brother about it, and he kept him from bopping me. But having to put up with his nonsensical slur talk was still just as cringy and horrifying. Ugh. Among his other activities, he served as a water boy and allegedly a manager for the school basketball team, the Manchester Lancers, along with Joseph.
I'm so sorry, but it's literally like Adam Sandler's Waterboy. Every single scene in this documentary, you could make an entire movie. How is it real? It's crazy, dude. He's actually Chris Chan is actually, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records as one of the most documented people online. It's not even a joke. When it comes to pictures, video, audio, there are more pictures, video, and hours of footage of him than most historical figures in all of history. There are more documentations, letters, news appearances than almost any other human being in history. He's known as one of the most documented people of all time. It doesn't feel real. Like, everything that has led to his life. And this is episode 1!
Joseph Herring, one of Christian's only male friends. Chris had always gravitated towards girls, and at Manchester, this was no exception. He had a sizable group of female friends, which he dubbed gal pals. Among the first that he met was Molly Quarles, a cheerleader at the time whom he met as a freshman. He fondly remembered them being paired up during a matchup event for Valentine's Day. Laura Beth Dorazio was another cheerleader Chris met and fell for, but after he confessed that he had a crush on her, she told him that she would like them to remain just as friends. Tiffany Gowan was said to be a real good girl to Chris, and he has described her as a bit of a tomboy and a peppermint patty to his Charlie Brown. Kelly Andes was his biggest crush and says they were high school sweethearts, even though they were never in an actual relationship together.
Kelly Andes
Sarah
nuts.
Bevel was in the same chemistry class along with Kelly and Chris. Sarah had a boyfriend at the time, and Chris watched them interact, hoping to experience that kind of relationship one day. It was fun to just watch them flirt with each other. I could have learned from that, but my autism and normal social phobias held me back then. Miranda Mitchell was the big brain in his circle of friends and shared computer graphics class with Christian. His group of gal pals were possibly not genuinely interested in a friendship with Chris, but rather stayed with him out of pity or as protection. A later comment made by Chris suggests that the group had made an arrangement with Bob and/or the principal of the high school.
That's fucking so
Concerning
tragic,
schoolwork,
dude.
there is a wealth of
That's so fucking tragic. So he's got all these female friends that are hanging out with him, but then they said it's heavily implied that Chris Chan's own father and the principal made a deal with them to hang out with them. Dude. Fuck, man. Every 5 minutes is a plot twist. Every 5 minutes is like a fucking crazy sitcom plot twist. There was something kind of similar where there was this kid that I didn't really like to hang out with in junior high, 8th grade. In 8th grade, and my mom used to give me $10 to go to his house and hang out with him because he didn't have any other friends. I wasn't mean to him, though, before you guys are like, oh, wow, Zach, what the fuck are we doing? After middle school, we stopped hanging out. But my mom would give me like $10. And like, just go to his house for a couple hours and play like Smash Bros with him. I'm like, okay. So something similar kind of happened. Here's the thing, though, chat. I actually did, by the end of hanging out with him, I did kind of like him, but I just also wanted the money. So I did both. There was nothing wrong with the guy. So, give me 1 second, though, chat. The laughing emote was timed wrong. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, dude. I mean, okay, whatever. I was like, what, 14? I didn't have a job. How else was I going to make money? All right, let's continue.
Information that has been attained, which helps to refute his previous claims that he held an honor roll streak all throughout high school. For one of his assignments, he had to conduct an interview with his parents, offering some more information about their life experiences. For the question, why did you choose to...
Isn't it crazy how all of this is documented? Isn't it crazy? No, I wasn't ignoring the question. I was just trying to, like, lock into the documentary. I'll let you know. I got some stuff to do, but we'll see. I'll let you know as soon as I'm done. People pay big money just to have someone hang out with them. Yeah, Japan is, like, a really big loneliness epidemic. That's why they've got, like, cuddle cafes and paying people to sit in the same room as you. It's kind of sad if you think about it. I mean, I would never judge anybody that does shit like that. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I don't think that is an indication of a healthy society, you know what I mean? I don't think that society should be at a point where that's necessary. But yeah, anyways. Here's more stuff. Yeah, like I said, I'm not judging at all, but I just, it's, like I said, not a reflection that society is moving in a healthy direction if that's what's needed.
To have children, they answered, it's nice to have kids.
Okay.
For what adjustments did you have to make after your first child arrived? They answered, laughter from 4 kids and 3 situations, referring to their troubled past marriages and estranged children. Interestingly, when asked about what has been the hardest part about parenting, the answer was, dealing with the school system.
Damn.
In another assignment concerning families, Chris inserted mathematical equations into his definitions, making them hard to read and understand. For example, he defined a nuclear family as a mother, father, and X is more than or equal to 1 child sharing the same household.
What?
He also described adoption as a right to raise a child who is biologically their own. Christian took part in a parenting exercise in which he wore an empathy belly to simulate the feeling of being a pregnant woman. He wrote a report describing his experience. Having a belly like a pregnant woman was really an awkward experience. When I tried to get my pencil bag out of my backpack, the belly held me back by putting pressure on my left leg. Luckily, my arms were long, but if they were any shorter, I would have had a real problem to reach the pencil bag. While I was sitting in my chair, the belly made it uncomfortable for me to cross my legs, and while my legs were separated, it put pressure on my private part, which gave me a strange, weird feeling.
This motherfucker's putting this in his, like, fucking schoolwork, dude. It's so crazy. That reminds me of this story. It was one of the most embarrassing things ever. Like I said, I'm not saying that I'm a genius at all, but I do think that at a young age, my brain developed a little bit faster than the rest of the kids. Like I said, I obviously evened out now. But I do remember being in school with kids my age when I was really young and looking around thinking that they were all dumb. you know, like, spoilers for Santa Claus. If you got any Santa Claus believers, leave the stream now. But, like, I was able to figure out that Santa wasn't real on my own way before almost any other kids in my class. Like, I just remember sitting there and being like, there ain't no fucking way that a fat-ass dude's flying around the sky. And everybody else in my class was like, he's magic and he's got rain. I was like, are you guys high as fuck? I was like, what are you guys talking about? And there was no internet. I didn't find, like, I remember, like, figuring it out on my own. Like, just sitting there looking at me like, wait a fucking second. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So, like, I'm just saying like that. So, I remember being at a kid's birthday party, and, like, I was already feeling, like, embarrassed. Like, I don't think most kids have a concept of cringe. Like, if other kids are acting cringy, or if they're acting cringy, like, kids don't understand what cringe is because they're just being kids. But, like, I did. And, we were at this, like, arcade that had, like, rides in it. And there was a ride, I don't know if you guys have ever been on it. I don't know, it's called, like, a frog hopper. And you sit down, bars go over you, and it's kind of like a giant drop, but it bounces. You go, like, up and then drop, and then up and then drop. It's called, like, a frog hopper. I don't know if you guys have ever been on that or you know what I'm talking about. But, like, you just sit down, and a bunch of people are in a row, like a bench, and it just gets lifted up, drop down, lifted up, drop down a couple times. That's the ride. Anyways, I was on there, and, like, all the parents are filming, and, you know, I think it was my mom was there filming, and all that. And anyways, the kid whose birthday it was, while the thing is dropping, he's just screaming, and he's like, that tickled my PB. And I'm just so embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want to be sitting next to this guy right now. And he was screaming that, and everybody thought it was, like, so funny. I was like, that's not funny, bro. I was like, that shit is so fucking cringe. That shit was so fucking cringe. And that's what this reminded me of. And what grade? Oh, fuck. Shit, I'm trying to remember. I would say third, second or third. I could be off by a little bit, but I would say second or third grade.
He wrote an essay about Japan's involvement in World War II.
Oh no, Japan.
It should be noted that he addressed himself as Ricardo W. Chandler, with Christian placed in parentheses, and wrote English in Spanish. The teacher justly corrected this. According to Chris, the war was a very tragic event, with guns, insults, and yuck. He continues. The Japanese and Americans had deemed glowering at each other like boxers from opposite corners of a 5,000-mile ring, waiting for the bout to begin. So, the US and Japan really wanted to get it on. He also quoted that President Woodrow Wilson tried to get Japan to withdraw from Shandong. Christian's essay ended up being a mishmash of events of both world wars. In addition, he referenced several books, however all of his findings could be found within the first 8 pages. The teacher commented, restate thesis. There is a page titled Warm Fuzzies for Christian W. Chandler, which most likely was a class activity in which the students wrote nice things to each other in order to promote acceptance. The messages left for Chris read very bland, such as, I like your clothes, is a very funny and nice person. Okay, funny, you are a nice person. Nice watch, you tell great jokes, and you tell fun jokes. But
Chat.
perhaps the most...
In my basement, I have something like this. I don't know why I kept it, but I found it in a drawer from literally 4th grade or 3rd grade. There's literally, it's like a thing where you write your name and you give it to every person in the class and they need to write one thing about you, and I have mine. I don't remember all the stuff that it says, but it has all the people in my class and they all wrote one sentence about what they think about me. I literally just found it like last month. I was like cleaning out the basement and I saw it and I just sat there and I read it. But I actually have it. Maybe I'll show it on stream next stream. Maybe next stream I'll show that off. But I literally have this exact thing from school, like early elementary school.
most baffling piece of writing that there is on record is his 13 lucky writing tips, an assignment for English class, in which he switches 4 tips in to what most closely resembles Spanish. In any case, it is little more than unintelligible garble. Use standard written English. Do not use contractions in formal writing. You must have a thesis statement in each essay. The thesis statement es el finale estancia de introductori paragrafe. Tu escribes de literature.
I was just about to say, I was like, these are actually like good advices. I was like, this is pretty good. I was like, he's actually like writing some facts, and then it just turns into random Spanish. Halfway through, just turns into random Spanish. I was like, okay.
Incluir el llama de author y llama de work. Los paragraphs soporte y relate que el thesis. Los paragraphs tienes el topic estancias hablan el unifying concepto de el paragraph.
Alexito, do you
Los
speak
details
Spanish? Can you
support
translate
y
any of this
relate
bullcrap?
a el topic estance de paragraph. Necesitas
What
voz
a
adecuate soporte details. Escribe el literatore en presente tense. Necesitas tres muchacho mirar de puente. Necesitas creas muy bien tu escribes creas sense y es muy logical. Cheques tu escribir muy carefully. From the school report, it can be seen that he failed all but 2 of his 14 assignments, earning a D+ for the year. At age 16, Chris wrote a poem entitled Song of Christian for his
Oh, here we
class,
go, dude.
loosely based on
Please tell me we're gonna hear the poem. Well, please tell me we're gonna hear the poem. He wrote a poem called "Song of Christian." Please tell me we have it. Please tell me we have it.
Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. He decided to record his creation for posterity in video form.
Let's go, W.
The video itself is poorly lit, but there isn't much to see.
Dude, this is art.
I hear him.
I can't believe it. Like, he has no idea that years later, you have this darkly lit, like, fucking, Stanley Kubrick fucking camera shot of this poem. All right, I gotta hear it. Let's here we go.
Whitman's Song of Myself. He decided to record his creation for posterity in video form. The video itself is poorly lit, but there isn't much to see anyway.
I hear America singing as I sing of myself, and you experience as I experience. The problems of yourself are my problems. These are the young singing cries of happiness. The children's song is song of laughter. At age 6 weeks, I sang this song of laughter. Then at 1.5 years of age, the Lord clicked the mute button on me. My song that I sing, although I talk well, my pure relationship is low and my loneliness is off the scale. Anyway, that's my poem.
Beyond just reciting the poem, he pretends to be the enthusiastic host of the Christian Chandler Show.
My favorite show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Christian Chandler Show. Where there are lots of laughs and all that neat old stuff. Now here he is.
I could have been the next Christian. Not that I have autism, but I have an entire like big shoebox filled with movies that I've made. And I just need to find a way to get them from VHS tape to digital. But literally from age 7 till like now, except with my streams, I have all these home movies that I made. I made my own version of Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean. I made my own original film, like an action movie. I made a remake of Resident Evil 5 with my friends. I've made so many movies, dude. I've had so much documentary of like my grandfather, and we like spray painted like the walls. I've got so much shit, dude. And I just need to find a way to get all of this onto like digital, because it's all just on VHS tapes, because I had a VHS camera. I don't know why Matchington Mansion's still in the description. I gotta remove it. I probably just forgot. I'm not sponsored by them anymore though. Urban, I made them when I was a fucking child, so there better not be any fucking pornography ones, or else you guys are going to prison if you ever watch them.
Here's the host with the most, Christian Chandler.
Sorry, that was loud. I'm done now.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to the Christian Chandler Show. I am your host, Christian Chandler.
He then rambles on about his fascination with the
Okay,
song.
chat. Oh, sorry. The VHS ones I made from age 7 till probably 15. After that, I started to get like a digital camera. So yeah. What was that? That was a smoothie. That was a smoothie. Okay, but hold on. Tell me that this doesn't have the exact same vibes as this, though, chat. Tell me that this And this, what I'm about to show you, doesn't give off the exact same vibes. Give me 1 second.
This is a message to
I'm
anyone
telling you,
still
bro.
clinging to
Sorry, so
hope.
loud.
Anyone that serves the light will be decimated without mercy. In
Bro,
30
this is
days,
like
I
similar.
will cause the death of every star in the universe.
so
Nothing will survive. Just look around you.
Holy fuck. That was my way to tie it back into the Ouija Invitational, which is coming up. Literally tonight, I'm going to put a date in Discord. If you guys could do me a huge favor, I want to make sure that I do the event on a day that all you guys can watch, or at least majority of you guys can watch. So I'm going to throw out a date. Give it a thumbs up if you can watch that day. Thumbs down if you can't. So that way I know if I need to change the date. So we can pick the perfect day to do the Ouija Invitational. But it won't be for a couple weeks still. Early August, maybe middle August. But I'll post it tonight. You guys just thumbs up and thumbs down it throughout this week, and I'll decide if we'll lock in on that date or pick a different day.
I am your host, Christian Chandler.
He then rambles on about his fascination with the Sonic the Hedgehog universe and talks about Bionic the Hedgehog, his first Sonic-related creation, which he came up with during basketball practice.
And then I
Whoa, I never knew that. So Sonichu was not his first. His first Sonic OC was Bionic the Hedgehog. I didn't know that. That's the real origin. His first Sonic OC ever was Bionic the Hedgehog.
science friend that helps. Of course, Tails that flies, Knuckles he punches and climbs, and Bionic, well, you heard rumors about Bionic. He's that Sonic's brother I met myself, who's that very good basketball player and mechanic. I can tell you the background story on him.
He proceeds to rant about receiving an F in English class.
I see about that. That's about time I sign off. But before I go, I have just one thing to say to the teacher. An F in English class? You have got to be kidding me. I mean an F. I do not even know when was the last time I got an F. I mean, who knows? It could have been back in old Greene County. That's
Obviously, Urban. Yeah, it's not a secret.
That Greene County primary. Actually, it was a nice school, but then it came to Nathaniel Green Elementary. That's why I got the F. Anyway, then many years rolled by. Then you came along and gave me an F. I mean, I started off with an 8, and you just lowered it. I'm getting sick and tired of this lower thing. What do you have against the handicapped children anyway? I mean, I know my handicap is autism, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And you...
I gotta kind of admit, though, making a Jeffrey Dahmer black and white rage video to send to your teacher in 1998 is kind of Sigma. It's kind of Sigma, dude. Like, whenever I got a bad grade, I just complained to my family and friends. This guy set up his camera. He said, "Are you fucking kidding me about this?" Like, that's kind of crazy, bro. Like, yeah, I mean, that, dude, I gotta give him respect for that shit.
Mrs. Bird, I think that F is very disrespectful. I mean, I am very emotional about it.
What is he recording this off of that has this camera quality?
Well, this has been the Christian Chandler Show.
This has been the Christian.
Around the same
Mario!
time, he made a series of stop-motion videos of races set in his Lego-made town called Quickville, based on his own initials.
Quickville.
They were made with a Game Boy camera, which produced grainy, low-resolution grayscale photos, or, alternatively, low-quality stop-motion video. The awkward frame rate makes it difficult to discern what is
I
actually
think
going
now,
on,
yeah, retro.
but it is important to note that all the racers are named either after pop culture characters that Christian idolized or people he knew in real life. This is the earliest account of Chris using people to play out his fantasies.
Uh-oh.
Biggest trend in kids' toy history. It's multi-billion dollar.
Uh-oh, Pokemon! This is
Throughout
where
the late
Urban's
1990s,
story starts.
The Pokemon franchise was spreading across North America, with Chris keeping a keen eye on it. He began playing the trading card game and included illustrations of Pokemon characters in his Spanish homework. He also wrote a lengthy essay.
Hold on. What the fuck is that? Like Black Pikachu. He's so fat. Oh, wow. Does that say Ricardo El Raichu? It's Ricardo El Raichu. Wait, and who the fuck is above? Honestly, I gotta say that Charmeleon drawing's pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie. That actually looks just like Charmeleon. But also, that's Mario. Above Charmeleon, there's, I don't know who the fuck that is, but then there's Mario sideways above that. Mario S. Muy Gordo, or whatever how the fuck that says. I don't know who the fuck that is above, I don't know, is that the Boogermeister or whatever from the Super Smash Bros. Crusade? Chat, the chances that Chris Chan watched the Super Smash Bros. Crusade movie is not zero. There's actually a pretty large chance that he probably watched that movie with us. The odds of him being one of the people to have watched that movie are way higher than we might think.
Of Pokemon characters in his Spanish homework. He also wrote a lengthy essay detailing how the Pokemon came into their Pokeballs.
What?
His teacher was very pleased.
Pause.
The year 1999 marked the birth of his Wall of Originals. This was a designated portion of the wall which displayed Pokemon trading cards that Chris made himself. It featured original Pokemon such as a female Pikachu called Chikachu and Plotistic, a plant which is autistic. Chris himself also appeared.
He made Plotistic, which is a plant that is autistic. Why a plant? And then he made Dark Christian. It's just Dark Christian. Holy fuck, dude, I want to collect these. I've never been into collecting cards, but I would collect the Quickville cards, bro.
Several times. His fascination grew to a point that he would dress up as the Pokemon character Ash Ketchum out in public.
That's not
Around
that
mid-
cringe.
1999,
Dressing up like Ash Ketchum in public is not, I don't think that that's weird at all. I wouldn't think that that's straight. Maybe in like fucking 2001, I guess, for people. But I mean, what does Ash wear? He wears fucking like jeans, a hat, and like a jacket shirt or whatever. I don't think that that's that bad.
Christian launched his first website, a simple Pokemon-themed effort humbly called Quick's Pokesite, cementing the moniker Quick. It was soon replaced by Quick's Pokesite 2 with a new logo designed by Miranda. He updated it with personal and Pokemon-related news here semi-regularly for the next
Who is
year
he
and a
with?
half.
Like,
This year,
go back for a second. Who is he taking a picture with? Like, I'm just so confused. Who are these people? It's like two Asian guys holding an Asian baby, and then there's just Chris Chan there. What? Like, what? Come on, Gino Samuel, we need context for this, brother. We need to try to figure out what the fuck's going on in this image.
Pokemon-related news here semi-regularly for the next year and a half. This year also marked Christian's first visit to The Game Place, a game and hobby store which allowed returning customers to play video games,
Sonic
board
Heroes!
games, or trading card games. It quickly became his weekly haunt. The Pokemon craze was captured on film for Richmond's NBC affiliate's WWBT News. The report featured excited young kids playing the game and trying to explain the phenomenon.
How do you play the game?
I can't explain, it's too long.
Their bewildered parents standing witness.
I'm watching and I still have no clue.
And the 17-year-old Chris in action.
I'll put out my Dragonair, even though it has 60 damage on it. Oh boy. And now it has 3 energy on it. Slam attack.
So if you had the time to tell me.
To commemorate Valentine's Day of the year 2000, Christian wrote a Valentine's Day hymn, a free verse effort in which he reveals
2000.
that he holds very traditional views.
Hold on, there's a lot to pick apart here.
A free verse effort in which
there's literally Bomberman on the right, Mario Kart, Mario Game Boy. There's Gex right up here. There's Gex. And then I see 2 pictures of Lola Bunny. Chat, should I show off my Lola Bunny shirt that you guys made me buy? For those of you guys who do not are not aware, in 2021, I did this stream where if we hit 120 subs, which we did, that I would buy anything that you guys put in my cart on Wish.com, and you guys put this in my fucking cart. No, it is not. So I did a stream where I would buy anything you guys put in my cart from Wish.com, And this is what you guys fucking put in the cart. Let me go full screen. Yeah, move Junko for a second. Open the closet. I've never worn this outside my house. Thank God I never will. This is an actual shirt that you assholes made me buy. And I'm pissed. It's fucking Bugs Bunny spanking Lola Bunny. It's so bad. Who would wear this shit, bro? You guys made me fucking wear this. You guys made me wear this shit. I had to buy it. Sent to my house. Put Junko back here. It's so bad, dude. This is art. Peak fashion. No, I hate it. I'm not a furry. Next Zelda marathon shit, the amount of dirty looks you would get with that shit in public, I'm well aware. Oh shit. Back to the video.
And the 17-year-old Chris in action.
I'll put out my Dragonair, even though it has 60 damage on it. Oh boy. And now it has 3 energy on it. Slam attack.
So if you had the time to tell me...
To commemorate Valentine's Day of the year 2000, Christian wrote a Valentine's Day hymn, a free verse effort in which he reveals that he holds very traditional views on courtship and the predetermined rules of etiquette for men and women.
Okay.
On a date, the man could not pay the bill, so his date slammed her door in his face. The man's coat over a puddle. The maiden walks. Then the man trips and pays the laundry bill. Under the moonlight, the couples of the world kiss. But unfortunately for a few, they are interrupted by their parents.
Huh?
He uploaded it onto his website. 10 days later, Chris celebrated his 18th birthday, a date which he held in the highest regard. Among the guests in attendance were a handful of Christian's gal pals.
Look at that.
And his half-brother Cole.
Nearly
birthday. 3 years after the fact, he reminisced about the event. I will never forget my 18th birthday party. It was the best of the rest. The weekend before my real birthday, my mother and I prepared for the party I was going to host that day. We hung balloons and streamers.
I feel like he looks way younger than 18 in this picture, but...
At the door was 4 of my high school amigas, and one of them brought a friend. We ate pepperoni pizza and drank Pepsi. It was great. As mother lit the candles, I was filling up with ecstasy. After I blew the candles, I was presented with a big jawbreaker from Kelly, an R.L. Stein novel from Sarah, a planer with stickers from Miranda.
Sounds like a W birthday to me, bro.
Jelly beans from Tiffany. We watched Good Burger and had fun.
Mario!
After
Do you
the
see
beans
Mario
from
down there?
Tiffany. We watched Good Burger.
Look at the bottom under the word fun. Under the word fun is Mario, bro. He's made another cameo. Can't escape him.
And had fun. After they left, it was done. What did I wish for? I'm not telling. Even though he seemed pleased that his gal pals came to celebrate, he was never pictured together with them, preferring to sit alone. He is also photographed wearing a pair of jeans with a suspicious stain on his crotch. Some have speculated that it is dried semen.
Come on, Gino. We're supposed to be having a wholesome moment, bro. We're trying to have a wholesome moment. Can't you let this guy's 18th birthday? This was supposed to be. He doesn't have many W's. It could just be like. It could be something else. I don't know. Could be frosting from the cake, bro. You don't know. Why would it be on the outside of his jeans? It could just be frosting from the cake he was eating or some shit. Gino, you piece of shit. I fucking zoomed in on it.
Suspicious stain on his crotch. Some have speculated that it is dried semen, but it is unlikely.
Okay. We let him cook.
A month later, Chris was tasked with designing a CD jewel case for his graphic design class. On the fateful day on March 17th, 2000, I wanted to feature on my favorite hit CD cover lifelong hero Sonic the Hedgehog and cute newer character Pikachu. But copyrighted characters were prohibited.
This was the day, March 17th, 2000, the day that will live on in infamy. This is when Sonichu was born. I can't wait till we get to Christian and the Hedge Boys. Oh man, it's my favorite arc.
The project. So, in my mind, I pondered and pondered when it hit me visually. Sonic and Pikachu combined. In a way to escape copyright, he combined Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu to create Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon, which Christian considers to be one of his greatest life accomplishments. The CD tracklist itself consists of Pokemon, Sonic and Mario related music, with intermittent appearances of old-time jazz from artists such
Hold
as
on, I gotta see some of these songs
music,
again.
with
Sorry, chat, I had to sneeze. Poke Rap, a lot of this is Sonic Adventure music. Open Your Heart, It Doesn't Matter. It's like, it doesn't matter now what happens, I will never give up the fight. Rainbow Road's on there.
Intermittent appearances of old-time
March
jazz
17th
from
is when
artists such
Sonichu
as
was
Frank
created.
Sinatra
Still
and Bing Crosby,
not created before
undoubtedly
Bionic
an
the Hedgehog.
influence from his father. Another month later, Chris had to document a week of his life for a school project. The result was A Week with Christian W. Chandler, a self-documentary, which detailed the events of his life from April 29th to May 5th, 2000. The front cover features a blurry photo of Chris and Patty, with a discolored, ghostly Sonic below. He writes it in the third person, as if followed by a documentary crew. On April 29th, he visits Books A Million to participate in the Pokemon Trading Card Game League.
That's the thing, Marco, that we're talking about. Chris Chan is literally in the Guinness Book of World Records for being one of the most heavily documented people. He was actually one of the first people to ever make his own website. So Chris Chan, when he was like 16, made his own website and he uploaded everything. That's why we have all this like footage and shit. He would upload his school assignments, his poems, his videos, his fucking everything, his like diary. He would just upload this shit constantly back when nobody was using the internet.
Afterwards, he enters a costume contest, and since he wore his regular Ash Ketchum outfit, he wins and receives a cool t-shirt as a reward. The following day, he talks about packing and moving things from their home in Richmond to their old house in Ruckersville. The next day, he goes to high school. He uses a tripod to help take pictures of himself. During class, Mr. Goss discussed the difference between Shakespeare's world and the real world of today. Christian rested his eyes after Mr. Goss's discussion.
I love how
before the
like he
bell
says,
rang.
speaks in third person.
Next, he had trigonometry. I'd hate to be Christian when his nerves kicked into action after waking up from a noddy snooze cruise, but I was. Next was computer graphics. It was great for him today, because he got to print his own CD cover. Next was Spanish.
Hold on, that's such a crazy line, because he's writing a biography about himself in third person. So this line is like the craziest, like almost schizo line ever. It says, I'd hate to be Christian when his nerves kicked into action after waking up from a snooze cruise. But I was. I was like, I mean, I was like, what? Like, if I was the reader of that, I'd be like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy reading this. It's like, I'd hate to be Christian, but I was. So, there we are. That's what I was saying, Harper. I literally had to pause the video. Because that line hit me. That line actually like hit me. That's an insane thing to write.
Too. He took a quiz today,
He's like Deadpool.
but I think he feels confident in
Chris
his work.
Poole.
And finally, after a hard, odd day, he rides home on a bus. But unfortunately, it had a few slow in the minds on it.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is for a school trip. He's like, yeah, Christian had to ride the bus, but unfortunately there was a few slow in the minds on their bus. It's crazy. Craziest way to end the day.
The following day, he repeats the routine of snoozing through class, and that on even days, he eats lunch with Tiffany and Sarah.
Who the fuck? Who took the picture?
He describes his daily activities at home, which mostly consist of playing video games and managing his website. The next day, he talks about working in computer graphics class and making a Mother of the Year award for Barbara, which he plans to give to her on Mother's Day. For the final day's report, Chris states that it was a difficult Friday. One of his duties included taking part in a senior group photo. After the long wait for the pictures to be taken, being crowded like a sardine surrounded by immature teenage boys, and having the hot, hot sun shining down on him and everyone else, he went back to the shady entrance. After the photo shoot, Chris was picked up by his dad. And that concludes our week-long documentary of A Week with Christian W. Chandler, the autistic boy that has made it this far. Close parentheses.
Episode 1, by the way, chat. We're still on episode 1.
Chris wouldn't pass up an opportunity to go to the senior prom, so he did, bringing his mother along as a date. Even though Christian had labeled the set of photos as the senior prom
whoa.
as a date to go to the senior prom, so
oh, stop. No spoilers. No spoilers. Holy shit, dude. Dude, Isayama was inspired by this for Attack on Titan. This actually has crazier foreshadowing than even Attack on Titan. So yeah, if you missed it, he took his mom as his date to prom. That's all I'm gonna say.
So Chris wouldn't pass up an opportunity to go to the senior prom, so he did, bringing his mother along as a date. Even though Christian had labeled the set of photos as the senior prom, it is possible that it was some other social gathering due to the fact that the event is held during the daytime. Looking back on the prom, he claimed that he was naive about dating, unlike the other students. Out of pity or out of genuine compassion, Tiffany asked Christian to dance. I hesitated at first, but she grabbed my hand and pulled me onto the dance floor.
W. Tiffany.
We danced for what felt like hours. It was the most pleasant experience of that night, and I thank her for dancing with me then. He felt that her willingness to dance with him meant that she was attracted to him, and stated that if they were to meet again, they would start a relationship. Graduation. The end of high school. The end of his interactions with his gal pals. Most importantly, it was the day Christian had to be recognized for his achievements. But unfortunately, this wasn't the case. I only got recognized for my grades with a star pin, yet they had more fancier awards for more important qualities.
Damn.
I should have been highly recognized for my artistic talents I showed in my many art classes for the award ceremonies before graduation day. I felt crestfallen greatly from not getting recognized for any of my talents. I excelled in math too, for the love of God. I was so jealous.
Damn.
I was a high-functioning autistic boy who came way beyond out of his social shell, only to get zilch, nada, zip, a big fat zero. I felt so devastated and out of sync. As a result of his heartbreak, he only went up on stage to receive his diploma without looking at anyone's face nor shaking anyone's hand.
Damn.
After the ceremony was over, he found himself an unoccupied table, sat by it, and cried. Eventually, his mother and later Tiffany came to console him. His father would look back on this event with shame and anger for years to come. Christian's time at high school is still thought of fondly by him, recalling his sweet memories of creating artistic projects for class and frequently hanging out with his gal pals, all of which were abruptly ended with that gloomy, rainy graduation. But with the end of high school came the promise of a new world in college, a chance for new friends, new experiences, and the first steps to a brighter future.
Or so he thinks. That's the end of episode 1, chat. Oh, shit. Crazy. Fucking nuts. So much shit happened. Harper, want to know the crazy thing? I intend to watch them all. I'm so glad. I didn't remember almost any of that. So, just again, I've said this a couple times, but I'll go full screen. I watched the first 10 episodes 5 years ago. I didn't remember any of that shit. So I wanted to rewatch them on stream. All of this will be on YouTube if you want to see my reactions to it. But Harper, they actually get crazier. I remember like 7, 8, and 9 being like mind-blowing. And I've never seen anything past 10. But actually, as of right now, There are 85 episodes of this. That's how much Chris Chan lore there is, dude. Yeah, and this one, I'm telling you, is probably the most boring one. What we just watched tonight is probably the most boring one. I'm not even lying to you. Because this was his best years. It was his childhood and his high school, which he considered the happiest years of his life. Now, starting with episode 2, we get into the dark years of his life. There are 85 episodes. So, we're going to have a lot of shit to watch, chat. If you guys tune in next Sunday, we'll watch it. Next Sunday, we're going to watch episode 2. Obviously, you guys can watch them on your own, but if you want to watch them with me and with the chat, we'll be watching it next Sunday.